Oh god, I didn't even know this existed. A neighbours game. G'day everyone, and welcome back to Retrospect Reviews. In this episode, I thought I'd have a look at this old Commodore 64 magazine that I found among my packed away collection that I was going through just to see what I had still. So I thought it might make it a bit of an interesting video to see what was inside this magazine. So this is Commodore Format number 16 for January 1992. It cost $2 or £2.95, I guess. I'm not sure about British money, but I can't really recall how much I paid for this in Australia. It was probably like $5-6, something like along those lines. Now, I do remember why I brought this magazine. I brought this magazine for this cassette. As some of my viewers know, I am a huge adventure game player, like my click and point and text adventures. So yeah, when I saw this in the news agency that it comes with a free graphic adventure creator, I had to have the magazine. That's probably why I kept it, because I'm assuming inside, which we'll find out once we go through it, that there is some hints and some instructions on how to use the software to create your own adventure. Not too sure what happened to the second cassette that was on the cover here. As you can see, it's Head the Ball Game, Mission Impossible, First Samurai, and Creatures 2. It's possible I probably gave that to friends or somebody else that I know that collects Commodore games. So as you can see on the front cover here, we got Hulk Hogan from wrestling, Bart Simpson and the Blues Brothers. So I'm not too sure the connection with all three. Could be that games were coming out for all three of these programs. We can see on the cover here we got Win a Diamondback mountain bike worth over £300. Now I'm not sure if you could enter these in Australia, but being an English magazine, I know we did have our own Australian magazine, but I don't think we could actually enter those competitions. So let's turn the page here and see what is inside on the first page. So just straighten that up a bit. So advertisement off the bat. So we've got US Gold advertising some of their games. We've got Final Fight. I think I actually don't remember paying that. I've never been a huge fighter. Yeah, those beat 'em up fighting kind of games. I do remember Gallant 3. I think I had that on the Amiga maybe. Outrun Europe. Don't think I had Outrun Europe. I did have Outrun on the Commodore 64. Actually, I still got that game in case as well. Mega Twins. I don't remember Mega Twins. So, Alien Storm. Don't think I played that one either. Bonza Brothers. Definitely played that. Everyone, if you haven't seen it, I did do a 10-minute gameplay, I think, on Bonza Brothers. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go back and check that out. Okay, so let's move on to the other pages. So this is just telling us a bit of what's inside. There we go. Yeah, there's a Blues Brothers review of a game. So it's a platform game. Double Dragon 3, Rollin' Ronnie. I think I might have had that on the Amiga. Can't remember that. It does look familiar. Wrestling, that's probably referred to the Hulk Hogan. So there you go. That's what the cover is. Hulk Hogan game, WWF. Superstar Hulk Hogan. Never really was into wrestling. I had a friend that is still into the wrestling games, but I never really got into them. Bart Simpsons versus Space Aliens. Loved that game. Used to play it all the time. Don't recall ever seeing the Blues Brothers game, so I might have a look for that, see if I can find it. Might do a 10-minute gameplay if I can find it. Super Space Invaders. Class Rugby. Never been a huge sports fan, so I never really played any of those. The page over. So this is all about the cassettes that are on the front page. We got the Graphic Adventure, First Samurai game. Let's go to the next page. Creatures 2. That might be a... Please put your hands together for the Fuzzies. Okay. Don't remember playing that, but like I said, I bought the magazine for the Create Your Own Adventure game. Head the Ball. Okay, another bit of advertisement here for Ocean. Too Hot to Handle. Right. Okay. Shadow Warriors. Golden Axe. Used to love Golden Axe. Used to play that all the time. Total Recall. For some reason I never played the game of that. Have to try to get a copy of that. That might be interesting to play again. I used to love the movie. In Australia we had 2 releases of that on video. We had the, I think it was M-rated version or the PG version, where most of the for some reason the only thing they really took out from what I can remember is the bit where the guy gets his arms cut off at the end of the near the end of the movie. Other than that, pretty much everything else was left in there. When you got the R-rated version, that was the only bit you saw the Arnold Schwarzenegger holding the 2 hands as he gets them cut off with the elevator. Okay, so let's move on, next page. So we've got some previews here. We've got a preview of Indie Heat. That doesn't look too bad. Once again, I'm not a huge driving car thing. I always found I used to crash into things all the time more than I actually got around the track. But I didn't mind these above view versions. They're not too bad. Dizzy's Adventure, I only played a few games of those. It wasn't as hugely popular in Australia as it was in the UK. The Shoe People, never heard of that. That looks a bit different. Looks like more of a kids program. So over here we're seeing the charts. So we've got full price charts. So this must be... okay, so these are the full titles. So we've got Terminator 2 by Ocean is the top rank, followed by Rugby World Cup. So this would be in England. I don't know where these ranked in Australia, but I would say Terminator 2 would be up the top. Speedball 2, yeah, that was pretty popular in Australia. Same with Microsoft Final Flight. SCI, Big Box. Yeah, I'm not sure about the rest of these, if they would sit on the same scale in Australia as they did in here. Budget charts, New Zealand Story. Now that's a good game. I didn't mind that. Ultimate Beast, that was another good game. So these must be, I think these would be a year or 2 older, so that's probably why they're in the budget section now. Batman the Movie, the Hit Squad. I think I got that with the Commodore 64 when I got my first Commodore 64. So that might be a bit old now. That'd probably be late 80s, probably when Batman Returns came out or something like that. Okay, that's more advertisement. There's Robocop. I used to love playing Robocop on the Amiga. Same with Chase HQ, Rainbow Island, and Hard Driving. I used to love playing all 3 of those games. Don't remember playing Operation Thunderbolt and Ninja 2, but I do remember the rest. Now these are all budget now. Let's move on. Oh, more advertisement. There's plenty of advertisement for Dizzy. So, so this is a 5 game pack, game collection. So, got a few different budget games, I'd say. Dizzy and CJ. And yeah, Dizzy's the only one there that I've actually heard of. But once again, some of these only came out in England and didn't really make it to Australia. Or if they did, they weren't very popular. Game Busters on this page. So we got The Last of Spike in Transylvania. So this is talking about they found a number of mistakes in the game. The power, if the code for this first 25 levels weren't enough. Okay, so here they're giving you the codes for this game for the power. Oh, I used to play the power. I used to have I've Got the Power theme playing in the background. luckily you could turn it off because it did get a bit repetitive after a while. So this was probably one of those. This was like a puzzle type game where you had to get the male. I think it was, yeah, there was a male and there was a female, and you had to get them together and avoid all these obstacles. A bit like Chip's Challenge, I guess, in gameplay way. Okay, so let's move on. Don't want this video to be too long. Okay, so in this game tips, we've got level 3 map of The Last Ninja 3 and level 4. So this was very popular in the day when you're trying to complete a level. You know, they have the idea of where to go and what's on each level. So it goes up to level 5. That's pretty cool. Okay. What have we got in? So there's the rest of level 5. More advertisement. Let's see. You can buy the James Pond collection on cassette for £8.50, and if you want it on disc, it will cost you $13 or £13.99. Wow! Need to let you know what it's going to cost. Okay, so now here more game tips, and this tells you about the Batman the movie game. Wow! So it gives you. So we've got here level 1 map. Now there's a bit of here. Are you great at games? Because if you are, Andy Roberts wants to hear from you. Write to him with your cheats, pokes and maps, or just tips for playing a game well. Andy gives away £20 mail order voucher for really good stuff. So get writing and mark your envelopes Game Busters. Well, that's pretty good. If you live in the UK, I don't know if they would actually send you £20 if you sent one in from Australia. But maybe they did, I don't know. So that's quite interesting. Okay, next page. More advertisement. 500,000 computer games. Surplus stock sell off. Top selling games from only £1 each. Wow. That's great. I used to see these ads all the time and want to purchase them, but trying to work out the conversion back in the early 90s and the 80s, I just couldn't get a handle on it, and I'm not sure if they would have posted them back if I sent them in. Some advertisement for some online naughty joke line. Oh geez, bet you that cost a small fortune if you rang up. The confession line. Good snuggling guide. Jeez, I wonder how many people used to ring these. Okay, so we've got another. It's another crazy cartridge pokes frenzy. So yeah, in the day, if you wanted to cheat or crack, you would have to type this little poke thing and run it, and it would help you get more lives or things like that. So people would, create these little programs so you could cheat, basically. Okay, so we've got more game tips, more pokes so you can crack. So this double dragon poke here, as you can see, it gives you infinitive lives and time. So you put that in and run the game, and you can have as many infinitive lives, basically. So we've got another map here for the game tips. So we've got Rodland. Not sure what Rodland is, but it looks like a platform game. So this shows you what each stage looks like, so you can have a bit of a heads up, I guess. Okay, over the page, more pokes. So pokes were really big on the Commodore 64. When the Amiga came out, most games, if you got them not legit, were cracked. So you could just press F1, F2, and you didn't have to keep putting these pokes in. So we've got more advertisement here. Okay, this side we got talking about the WWF new game that's come out. Oh, this page is a bit folded. Oh, I don't know if they did that on purpose or So yeah, just more about WWF. Got 91%. Okay. Another racing game, Crisco Heat. And more advertising for Double Dragon 3, sorry. Double Dragon 3 on the Commodore 64 and the Amiga. And the Atari ST, I'm assuming. What do we got here? So availability, Atari ST Amiga, it's going to go for £25.99. Commodore 64 Spectrum and the Amstrad cassettes, £11.99. The Commodore 64 Amstrad disc, £15.99. And it's coming soon to the IBM. The poor IBM back in those days used to be, didn't always get the game straight off. IBMs weren't really considered gaming machines back then. They came more of a gaming machine as the 90s rolled in. Okay, so we've got an article here on the Blues Brothers game. They've got 90%. That's not bad. So I might, like I said, I might try finding this and give it a bit of a play, because I do like the Blues Brothers. It's one of the more inappropriate movies I watched as a young child that didn't quite get the humour. More advertisement. So we got advertisement for games tied into movies. So we got Gremlins 2. Never played Gremlins 2. Played a lot of Turtles. Back to the Future 2. Tried playing it. Never. The mechanics used to always get to me. It's not one of the better movie tied-in games, that's for sure. But I am a huge Back to the Future fan. And Roads of Thunder? Days of Thunder, sorry, the Tom Cruise movie and Nicole Kidman movie. Never played that. I wasn't a huge fan of racing movies, so probably wouldn't have been that interested in the game. So I am intrigued with Gremlins 2. I just can't recall ever playing that, so there's another game I might have to look out for. Okay. The Simpsons. It was very, very big back then. It's still pretty big now, but yeah, there was a lot of hype. I suppose if you weren't alive at that time or remember The Simpsons back in the early 90s, there was Bart Simpson and all over the place. I remember seeing this in the arcade. I think it was a 4-player, if memory serves me right. So that was probably getting to the tail end when I really weren't going into arcades anymore. I'd moved from the big city to a country town, and there was really no arcade machines. I think the only arcade machines then were in the local bowling alley, and they were pretty old by that stage. Games that I had long played and conquered and moved on. But I did get it on the Amiga 500 when I was able to get hold of it. So I used to play a lot of that. I think a friend of mine got to the end, but I've never completed The Simpsons or Bart Simpson versus the Aliens. So yeah. Okay, next page. Advertisement for Captain Planet. Never played the Captain Planet game. Never really watched the cartoons either. It was a time we got in Australia. I was kind of not really into that kind of television anymore. I was getting a bit older for it. So I've seen bits and pieces of it over the years, just flipping channels. Page 43 is Tilt. Does the name Tilt sound familiar? It should, because a few months back, Codemasters released a game with a rather similar title. It was called Tilt. In fact, it's more than spookily similar. It's exactly the bloomin' same. Okay, so we've got a copycat game here. Now, it does happen where games come out and movies come out where it's almost the same and it feels like somebody's copied somebody. It could be the case here that these ones did happen a lot back then, where a popular game would come out and somebody jump on the bandwagon and make it. Still the same today. Moving on. Super Space Invaders. I don't recall ever playing Super Space Invaders, and I don't recall ever seeing it. I was moved on to other types of games by Space Invaders Standard. I guess if you were into Space Invaders, you would go out and seek it out. So this looks like it's actually set into space, not like the old original Space Invaders. Giant poster of Bart Simpson from the front cover with the Blues Brothers and Hulk Hogan. Obviously, I didn't find that desirable to hang on the wall. Mean Machines. I do remember Mean Machines. I had that on the Amiga. Buffalo Bill's Wild West Show. I used to love, I still do love these kind of shooting games where you have targets to shoot at. They're pretty cool. I used to like those. It got 53%. I wonder if that came out on the Amiga as well. Probably not. Never seen it. Anyhow, more advertisement over here. What do we got over here? We have the Cartoon Classic Pack. So for the Amiga 500, £399. Wow. So what did you get with that? You got the 512K Amiga 500, TV modulator, RAM expansion. That's pretty good. You got Deluxe Paint 3, Arcade Action Pack, Phantom Paint 2.0, pretty much the standard stuff. You got Bart Simpson, that's pretty good. Captain Planet, that's not bad. And Lemmings, everyone loves Lemmings. Did a gameplay on Lemmings, if you want to go back and check that out. That is not a bad price. Then you can get the standalone Amiga here for £329. Wow, no wonder the Amiga was quite popular back in those days. Great graphics and a good price, and you got a heap of stuff with it. Okay. Advertisement for the co-op Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Me and half a dozen friends, we actually completed this at the Hoyt Cinema in Sydney when it first came out. 4 of us got on there and just kept pumping coins in. I can't remember how much a game it was. I don't think it was cheap. It might have been $1 back then. That's when arcade machines started getting a bit pricey, $1 for a go. But we ended up playing it and actually completed it that day. So that was pretty cool. So now we've got some advertisement here. It's just for 100 new Andy Roberts pokes. So okay, so you buy this and you get this cassette, and it's got all the pokes on it, so you don't have to type it in. That's pretty cool. Okay, what do we got here? Boundless of Fun, CF Special, Capcom Collection. So this must be a collection that you can buy. Oh yeah. Too Hot to Handle, bundle of 4. So just trying to see what games I actually got on here. These are not listing them out very easily. Looks like Double Dragon from there. Turrican. I'm not sure what the others are. Oh, Ghosts and Goblins or Ghosts and Ghouls. Yeah, you think they would have had a list here of what games they were. Okay. So, what else we got here? We got Chart Attack, bundle of 5. Super Saga. Shinobi, 2-player action Crackdown. A friend of mine used to love playing Crackdown. I never really got into it. That looks like Lotus. And I'm not 100% sure what that one is up here. So we got a, oh god, I didn't even know this existed. A Neighbours game. Race with the Stars in Ramsey Street. I definitely have to find this now. I did not know that they released a Neighbours game. How did that get past me when I brought this magazine? Wow. Looks a bit like Paperboy there. Wow. Okay. Definitely on the mark that down to find and play. Love the kangaroo here. Ramsey Street. Don't think it's changed much. Though I haven't watched Neighbours in 20 years probably. Wow. So that came out Oh, when did that come out? It's got here. Not. Oh, that's just the copyright of the company that makes Neighbours. Cool. Oh, I'll look for that, and hopefully, if I find it, I might do a gameplay and see what it's like. Okay, just some advertisement to back order the magazine. And just telling you about what you receive. Receive a superb gift when you subscribe to Commodore Format. Joystick. Got a joystick a bit similar to that somewhere. Oh yeah. So it's not blue. It's it's kind of like it. Yeah, doesn't really work well, but I do have one. Okay, so some cool things. Some COP Art Studio. Speedball 2. I think I would have went for Speedball 2 because joysticks back then were easy. You know, you find them everywhere. Okay. CF's all-time top 10 essential mega games. So obviously these are the games that they recommend. Nibblus. I love this game. Actually, I did a gameplay of this. If you can go back and check that out if you want to see that. Chips Challenge, Classic, Rainbow Island, that's a pretty cool game as well. Smash TV, Kickoff 2, Paranoid, Turbo Challenger, I think we said that. So yeah, Ultima 6, everyone's played Ultima 6 or some kind of Ultima game. That's pretty cool. Okay, now we're the power cartridge for the Commodore 64. That's worth how much that is? £17 and 30 pence. That's pretty good. I think that's how you pronounce it. 17 pounds anyhow. There's an advertisement for repairing your Commodore 64. I don't know if that number's still good. You might be able to give them a call. Okay, the Mighty Brian. So this is a writing, I guess. So we've got here DTMB. Are Codemasters going to release any more of their Dizzy games? Okay. Michael Burns. There's a companion of old and new games coming out and out anytime soon called Dizzy's Excellent Adventures. It's featured 3 new games: Spellbound Dizzy, Prince of the Yoke, Fork and Dizzy Down the Rapids. Also included are the old faves. Okay. Vic reads, DTMB. I have a few questions which I would like you to answer. Are there any VIC-20 emulators available for the Commodore 64? Whatever happened to the Series AZ of classic games? What happened to Inside Info? What about having disc power packs on the cover? So what did they say over here? Number 1, they said, no, it's too close to being a pointless exercise commercially. It may have been done by someone in the public domain. Most of the emulators are done public domain anyhow. We got to Z. It's still here. It's a great idea in principle, but puts on business-like tone. The costs involved. Would you be prohibitive? The cost involved would be prohibitive, and the vast majority of 64 owners use tape-based machines. Okay. Just why are Nintendo so tight-fisted that they won't let us have the Mario Saga? It's strange, like even back then, Nintendo, wouldn't play ball with anyone. I had to buy CF14, looked at the reviews, and no Final Fight review. What's happening? Okay. So yeah, there's some viewers writing in, some readers writing in, I should say. Oh, geez, a lot of... Okay. Yeah, still plenty of write-ins. Might go back and read these myself. Some more advertisement. Okay, here we are. This is probably why I kept this magazine, for the article and the tutorial on how to use this graphic adventure creator. So that's pretty cool. 10 top tips for great adventures. So it's giving some pointers on what makes a good graphic adventure game. So that's interesting. So inside info. The inside info. Have you read the letter to the mighty Brian in issue 14? I looked at my programs. Okay, so this must be about building games and equipment to play games with. So a quick and easy reset switch. So this is telling you how to make a reset switch for the Commodore 64. So for those who don't have a 64 or have never used one, you got to actually physically turn the power off and on. So you can't just hit a reset button to reset the machine. So you got to do a hard reset basically. Some questions on some pokes that probably didn't work well. Number of annoyances. Some of the favorite programs are cool, so there's some programming codes there. What's on this side? Some more advertisement about software. Competition, I think. It's the Commodore Format mountain bike giveaway. Oh, this is the giveaway that are showing at the front of the magazine. So this is the mountain bike you can win. Don't know if there's any who can or can't enter in that one. So, okay. Some more advertisement. There's a mouse here. Printer. Oh, jeez. Haven't heard a dot matrix printer go for a long time. There's the cassette for the Commodore 64. The floppy drive. Actually got both of those. And there's very interesting. So £29.99. So it's probably about $50-60 in Australia. Yeah, I got my disk drive with the Commodore 64 pack that I got. So we've got an action replay cartridge here. And a bit of information on the World Rugby game. An article here on Double Dragon 3. Never got. I think I played Double Dragon up to Double Dragon 2. Never went any further on the Double Dragons there. So another giveaway. Or is this a mail-in? Truly Radical exclusive CF Double Bill Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles co-op and video. Bunga with the coin-up version of the Teenage Mutant Heroes Turtles now out on C64 and the release of the first and best of the Turtles movies. Okay, so this is I remember going to the picture theaters and seeing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle first movie. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a good competition. Oh, advertisement for dot matrix printers. If you've never heard of dot matrix printer, I'm sure somebody on the internet has done a video on dot matrix that you could hear the god awful noise that you used to get when you tried to print out. You can never secretly print anything out, that's for sure. Okay, more. This is a CF special, Wednesday 23rd. John, I'm working on the snow torture screen. Oh, so this is people written in asking how to get through this game. And a little bit of a cartoon there. Okay, we've got more advertisement. Oh, the Commodore CD TV. Never really heard about those until I saw somebody did a video on them. That's quite interesting. It would have been way out of my price range, so I probably never really paid much attention to it. And I was really deep into Mega 500 and Commodore 64 back then, so never really looked at anything past those at that point. Okay, so we've got an article here on Rolling Ronnie. I think he scored 45%. Pretty enough graphics, reasonable sound effects, and interesting plot. Funny manual, levels increasing in difficulty, but it's all too late to stop boredom setting in. Okay, so they didn't like that game. Rolling Ronnie. Okay, so we're getting close to the end of the page here. Back page, so it's just more advertising, cheapo games, so nothing too exciting there. I was talking about next month's issue. Some advertisement for the Commodore 64. We got advertisement for RoboCop 2, Pang, another game I did a gameplay on. Chase HQ 2, used to like playing that. Batman Returns, or that might be just Batman, that one. Navy Seals, and you got Shadow of the Beast up there. Navy Seals, like I said. Batman, yeah, so that's the original Batman. I got that with my Commodore 64 when I got it. So that's pretty cool. And on the back page, we've got Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Oh, got a bit of rip there. So it says here, you are the T800. Well, that's it for this video. So let me know in the comments down below what gaming magazines you buy and which ones did you used to buy back in the day. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because it lets you know when I upload a new video every Friday. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. So that's it for me. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next week. Bye for now.